All right, this demo is the next step in the process of creating we're going to call them system families in Revit. They're not families we load like doors and windows and furniture and stuff. It's stuff that we make ourselves. We don't load them like by going file, family, load or anything. We basically take something we have, like we did with this wall, and we make another one from it. We make another one from it. We can make another one from it. We have to do that with walls, floors, ceilings, roofs, stairs, and railings. Those are the main 6 that we have to do this way. So we've got our walls. Our walls are good. That's really the only 5 you're going to need, I think. There might be maybe another 1 or 2 in there, maybe later. We'll see. But mostly pretty good there. Okay, now we're going to do a couple of floors to start. One of them is the main bottom floor, and we're going to call it the slab floor. So what happens with buildings in Southern California is we have concrete floors for the most part. If you can't crawl underneath your house, you have a concrete floor, almost for sure. And it looks something like this. It's just a big old hunk of concrete. It's generally 5 or 6 inches thick, give or take, depending on where you are in the soil it's on and stuff like that. And, you walk on it. But you're not walking on the concrete. There'll be something above that concrete, like, tile or carpet or something like that, because most people don't want to walk on the concrete, and it looks pretty ugly. All right, and then the wall kind of sits on the end, and there's this thing called a footing that we're going to be designing later. But right now what we want just the concrete floor. It's this part kind of like right there. And they have rebar and stuff in it. We're going to do all the detailing later. Right now, just the concept. The concept is we're going to create a really easy concrete floor. Let me minimize that. Oh, hey, look at that. Speaking of that, hey, this is a good example of what that brick looks like. So there's our concrete floor. And then remember we talked about how there's an air gap between the brick and the wall. There's your rigid insulation right there, and then there's that little air gap right there. What happens is the water kind of goes through the bricks. There's little holes in the bricks on the bottom, and then the water kind of goes out. So it has a place to escape. So when the water wicks through the bricks or the stone or whatever, it kind of stops right there because there's a vapor barrier there, and then it goes, oh crap, where am I going to go now? And it kind of goes down and it goes out, and goodbye. All right, good picture there. All right, just fell into that one. All right, I'm going to go to level 1, and let's make ourselves a floor. You're going to have no problem with the floor. If you had no problem with these, the floor is going to be easy for you. I'm going to start by making a floor. We've done floors before. Floor. I think when we did our floors, we did it with the Revit demos, and I had you guys pick walls, right? We picked the 6 walls, and the floor went underneath. This time, let's just go ahead and make a rectangle. And just, plop it like that. I don't care what size it is. Just go like that. This is the generic 12, which isn't the size we want, but that's okay. Hit green check. So very much like with the walls, we take something we have and we make something we don't have from it. So I want a 5-inch concrete floor. This is going to be really easy. I'm going to pick that floor, which is a 12-inch floor, no concrete. I'm going to edit, type, and duplicate. I'm going to say that a lot today. All right, and we're going to give it a name, MB, whatever your company name is, right, your initials. And then I'm just going to call this 5, C-O-N-C, nice and easy. It's just going to be 5 inches of concrete. It's going to be one element on the floor. Hit OK. So now I'm changing my MB5 concrete. I'm going to hit edit. The thickness is going to be 0 space 5 for 5 inches. And we're going to make the material out of concrete. If you type in C-O-N-C up there at the top, you'll get 4 different types of concretes. I like the cast-in-place gray. Don't get too much in the weeds on these names here because we're going to probably make our own anyway later on, but hit OK. So I've got my concrete cast-in-place gray, 5-inch thick. Make sure it's 5 inches, not 5 feet, by the way. And hit OK, and OK. And we have ourselves, you can't see that very well, concrete floor. So if I was to go to the south elevation here, you'll see that the floor, there it is, kind of going down from the level. If I was to measure it using my annotate and aligned, and I measure from there to there, and it's a 5-inch thick concrete floor. That's it, real easy. Okay, that's one of the floors I want from you. There's one more floor I'd like you to make. This is going to be called a subfloor. So I need to pull the picture here. We'll call this a 2x10 subfloor. I should have had this ready for you, sorry. And let's go to images and see what they got for us here. It kind of looks like this. This would be if you were upstairs walking on your floor, you know, jumping up and down on it. Now, these are probably this looks like about a 2x10 to me, and that's what we're going to be doing on ours. 2x10s are really common, but they don't have to be that size. They can be 2x12s, they can be 2x8s. The bigger they are, the less they have to span. The smaller they are, the more they have to span. So they kind of play that structural game there. All right, so we're going to make that, and then we're going to put that's actually a pretty good shot right there. And then on top of that, so we don't fall through, we're going to put a piece of plywood. Okay, the plywood just sits right on top of it. I'm not going to worry about finish floor on the top of it. It's just going to be simply that 2x10 and a piece of plywood on top. It's pretty easy. Wish I had a better picture here. Let's see. If I can't find a really good picture, that's all right. It's kind of hard because it's usually inside. That's not a terrible shot right there, but that's fine. Don't worry about it. Okay, that's actually not a terrible shot right there. That's a better shot right there. So that's kind of what they look like, sort of with the 2x and the plywood on top. It would be in between the first floor and the second floor. All right, so here we go. I'm going to make it the floor I'd like to use, which will be better to start with. Floor is start with either one of these two here. They're both not really correct, but they're really close to being correct. I'm going to use this wood finish one here. And just going to make a little rectangle next to what we did before. It's fine. Agree check. And, it's got a little wood finish on the top of it. I have no idea what that looks like. Let's see. What is it? It's oak. Okay, that's oak. I know oak. I'm a woodworker guy. That's oak. All right. So here's what I want. I don't want oak. I just want the other parts of it. So we're going to go ahead and edit type and duplicate. And I would like you to call this your initials. And then we're going to do a 2x10 here. And a 2x10 is actually 1.5 by 9.25. So we're going to do this as 9.25. So that's a 2x10. We'll call this a joist. It's a floor joist. And then on top of that is going to be a 3/4 ply. That's it. Just 2 pieces. That's a great name. Hit OK. And then we're going to go in. Now that we're changing it. And you'll notice that, boom, there it is, 9.25 and 3/4 ply. So the only thing we have to get rid of is this little crappy oak flooring that's sitting on top of it. I don't want that. So I'm going to hit delete. And just watch what happens to the picture over here when I do that. Boom. That's it. Okay. And okay. And you have yourself, see how the wood's gone now. Basically a piece of ugly plywood. All right, but that's what we're walking on. And they put carpet or tile or linoleum or terrazzo or all kinds of different materials on top. If I was to cut a section through both of these, one of them is just a single floor, right? Just a single concrete floor. And then this one over here, this is medium, has the 2x10 and then the plywood on top. Okay, really easy. So we've got our, our 2 floors. And we have our 5 walls. Good time to save. So in the bank, there's going to be more floors, but they're going to be finished floors, and we don't really need those right away. So we'll come back to those. We don't really need them. Next, we need some ceilings. Both of those are also not going to be super hard. So let's see. Let's go into the kind of internet this and show you what I'm looking for. Don't need that. So ceilings. So the ceilings kind of look like this. You may have seen yours upstairs. For most of you, you have an upstairs. If you ever try to get through the ceiling up into the attic, there are probably these beams that come across kind of horizontally. You probably have pink insulation in there, kind of wedged in. And then there's a piece of drywall sitting on top of these things. So, because of course you don't see the ceiling joist here because you have drywall covering them. And they kind of do it like this. That would be the ceiling joist, and then they just kind of put this big sheet of drywall, just kind of plaster it, and that kind of forms the top of your ceiling. You probably have that in your hallways. This stuff is really hard to handle. They have little tools that help you, but it's a little tricky to handle that stuff because it's really heavy and kind of awkward. And you see, guys getting all kinds of different weird shapes to get up there. All right, so that's going to be it. We're going to do a 2x6 ceiling joist and put a 5/8 chipboard kind of on the bottom of it. So it's going to go something like this. I don't really care where you put this thing, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to go to the ceiling view this time. Oops. Come on now. There we go. All right, so since I'm on the ceiling view, I'm not seeing the floors because the floors are looking down, and on the ceiling view, I'm looking up, right? Ceiling plan level 1. So there's also a good ceiling in here. The one I want you to use to start off with this is this GWB on metal stud. This is gyp wallboard, which is what we've been using. This is a good one to start with. And then just do a sketch and make a little rectangle. I'm going to go ahead and make it right here. It's fine. Just kind of like that. So that way I can pick it up on that section there and green check it. So, this is the one that's gyp on metal stud. It's very close to what we want. The only difference is ours is going to be duplicate. Ours is going to be MB. It's going to be a 5.5 joist. It's a ceiling joist. And then underneath that is going to be 5/8 gyp. So you see the basic idea, just like I've been doing with the walls and the floors. It's what is it made of, right? And this is just a 2x6 joist with 5/8 gyp underneath. All right, so now I'm naming it. Let's go ahead and go to edit. This is almost exactly what I want. The only thing different is this is perfect. This is perfect, except this is going to be finish 1. All my gyp boards on finish 1. And then the 2x6 is going to be 0 space 5.5. Like that. And then the material is going to be a ceiling joist. This can be just any kind of wood material or whatever. I think that C24 is probably fine. C16, C24. We'll do C16. And we could argue that's right or not. Okay. Kind of like we did with the walls. Timber C16. Okay. And hit OK. I'm looking it over. It looks good. OK. And OK. So if I was to go to the section view, that's on the floor. It's cropped out. So, oops, that's way too far. And so here is my ceiling. So there's my ceiling joist, and then there's the drywall underneath it. The other thing we're going to run into every once in a while is sometimes we just need the piece of gyp board. That's all we need. The ceiling's not in play for whatever reason. We just need the gyp board as a ceiling. We're just going to plaster it maybe on the bottom of a floor. Sometimes, like on the downstairs, we'll want to put the gyp board on the bottom of the floor joist so we don't see the floor joists. I think I talked about that a little earlier. So let's do that. Let's make just a plain old boring, I'm in ceiling plan level 1, just a plain old boring piece of gyp wallboard. I'm going to use this because it's almost right. I'm going to go ahead and right click and create similar. I'm going to sketch, make another one right next to it. Just like that. So it's the exact same thing. Okay, exact what? If I go to this, it's going to be the exact same thing. What I don't want on this one is I don't want the 2x, I just want the gyp. All right, so it's going to be real easy. I'm going to take that, I'm going to edit type and duplicate. And I'm just going to get rid of the joist part. Back, and just MB 5/8 gyp. Edit. Now what I want here is I want this to be the 5/8 gyp. So just kind of watch where I'm going here. I'm going to move this up. I'm going to delete this. That way I have the gyp wallboard there. I'm going to make this the structure 1 because it's just the only thing there. So that's the structural part. That's it. 5/8 gyp wallboard, 5/8 structure. Piece of cake. Didn't even have to pick any buttons, just kind of moving things up and down. Hit OK, and OK. And now we just got that little thin piece of chipboard. Again, what will happen eventually is it'll be something like, I have a floor this, yeah, I do. You'll have a floor that, this is what's going to end up happening, just if this helps you at all. The floor will be on level 2, like that. And then what we do is we take this gyp board and we put it on the bottom of the floor. So what we do is we align this and that, and we create kind of a sandwich. It's important to do it this way because now if we have a ceiling-based object, it'll actually attach to that. Ceiling-based objects don't attach to floors, so I couldn't make this all as one thing. I needed to make them separate. Sometimes we just have the gypboard and we have the beam and we just need to attach a piece of gypboard to it, and now we've got that. Okay, so that's good in our library. Go ahead and put this back to level 1. Some things are confusing. All right, so we're just rolling right along. We've got back to the save there, because I would save after every step here, by the way. And some of your classmates, they did all this work and they didn't save. And now they're probably watching the video because they didn't save. So, I've got a couple floors, got a couple ceilings, got the 5 walls. I got one more thing for you, the roofs. I just want to do one roof because I think I did it about where I stopped in most of the classes. I think on one of them I got all the way through, and one I got halfway through, and one I didn't get at all. All right, I want to create a roof. In Tuscan architecture, let's see if I can find some Tuscan architecture. Tuscan. I don't know, something like that. What I want to show you is just the roof, basically. And you'll recognize the roof. So this is Tuscan architecture here. Let's see. How about, let me get a good picture there. It's kind of hard to see, isn't it? What I'm looking for is those clay tiles. Let me, if I do it this way, Tuscan architecture. Let me just do it this way. Maybe if I go roofs, I'll get it. That's not bad. So you're going to get those clay tiles that you see all over Corona and the Inland Empire and Southern California. That's a really good shot right there. That's a perfect shot right there, basically. Pigeon. I got a story for that. You'll have to ask me. In Tuscany, they look like this. They look very weathered. Oops. They look very weathered and random and stuff like that. But the main thing we want to deal with is, the basic color. They come anywhere from kind of an orangey like this, but in the real Tuscany, they kind of mix all over the place. They're kind of mixed up. You can see if you just do that, you'll just see the different colors, and if you go to different places, you'll see them. They're all clay tiles. They're always clay tiles. They're always clay tiles. And no matter where you go, this is a Tuscan village actually. So I don't know if you can see that or not very much on the video, but it's a bunch of clay tiles, right? And they change color from grays to terracotta to even like almost in the dark reds. All right. So what I want to do is I want to replicate that. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to make a material. I'm going to do this a little bit out of order. I'm not going to make the roof yet. I'm going to make the material. I'm going to go to Manage and Materials. We've already been here before, right? You've seen this area. What I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab myself some roofing. The roofing that I'm looking for is under Miscellaneous. And if you kind of go most of the way down, and it's going to be under Tile. Where are you, Tile? Roofing, sorry, Roofing Tile. This is the one I want you to get. This is the best one that's here. Or we'll do better than this later, but right now it's not bad. I'm going to hit the up arrow there, and there it is, Roofing Tile. If you go to Appearance, you can see that it's a little on the gray side. That's not really the color that I was showing you. Remember the kind of orange and kind of reds and stuff like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick color here. Watch the trick. This is what it's going to look like in our model. I'm going to take a color, this dark red like that. Really kind of dark, kind of browny red like that. See it there? Now watch the trick. I'd like you to watch this up here. We're going to do what's called an image fade. I'm going to drag this way a little bit. And you'll notice now that the picture and the color kind of meld, and that's what's going to go on the sheet. If I go all the way over, I get all color, no picture. If I drag it all the way to 100%, I get all picture and no color. So what you want to do is kind of, somewhere in between. Something like that. Okay, apply. So I've got this roof. You know what? Before I do that, let me just go into roofing tile and put my initials in front of that. Sometimes they're hard to find. So MB. By doing this on all your materials, putting your initials in front, it'll make it a lot easier to find the stuff. All right, got it. So I've got the appearance. It's all beautiful. I love it. Okay. All right. I haven't done anything yet, but let's do that now. So let's see. We're gonna go to I don't know which one I'm gonna do here. Let's see. Let me turn this back to hidden line and take this stucco wall. Create similar. Just going to make some walls here. Don't make this rocket science. Just make me some walls. Just a box is fine. Please don't make this rocket science. If you're taking longer than like 30 seconds to draw this, it's not good. All right, and I'd like you to put a roof on it. By the way, these walls should be going level 1 to level 2. Okay, so then I want you to put a roof on it. Architecture, roof by footprint. We've done roofs before. Yes, go ahead and move it to level 2. We'll go ahead and put an overhang of maybe 2 feet, let's just say. And I'd like you to use the roof wood rafter 8-inch asphalt shingle insulated. That's not right, but it's close, once again, close to what we want. And let's go ahead and just make a roof, make a roof, make a roof, and make a roof, and recheck it. So what I've got, is a roof with shingles on it. That's not the right material that we want. So we're going to change that. I forget what page I'm on here. Let's see. I am on page, sorry. I'm going to roll back here. I'm on page 138 under roofs. Right there. Page 138. So the, did I go too far? I did. This is the one I'd like to make first. We're going to do the other one later, but right now that's the one I want. And I hate typing, so I'm going to go ahead and copy that. All right, so we're going to take this roof. We're going to edit type and wild guesses. Yep, duplicate. And I'm going to go ahead and Control V, and I've got my name in there. And back, and MB. All right, so there's my name. So what this is going to be, it's going to be a 2x8, 7.25, so that's 7 1/4. And then there's going to be plywood. There's going to be a vapor retarder, and then there's going to be clay tile. Yeah. So, and we'll be making this more advanced later on, but this will be a really good start. Okay, and let's go ahead and edit it, and let's make this thing. That 7 1/2 is wrong, Oruski. It's going to be 7 1/4. I don't know why Revit does that. Okay, plywood sheathing is going to be 3/4 of an inch, based on my name, right? 3/4. And then above that is then going to be my vapor retarder. Let me move that down. Because again, we have to protect the wood from getting wet. Let me find my vapor retarder, VA. There it is. And then we're going to put on finish 2. This is where we're going to bring on our Spanish tiles. So let's see what we call it. MB, right? Your initials, roofing tile. And I think I made those 2 inches thick. Later, we'll put some rigid insulation in there because in order for our roof to meet Title 24, we really need to have some rigid insulation in there. So, but for right now, it's just like that. I think I got that right. Let's see. Good, 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 and good. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Hit OK, and OK. And we have ourselves a pretty awful looking clay tile roof. Again, we'll deal with that material pattern and how big they are and all that stuff later on. Okay, I think that's a good place to stop now. We'll come back and we're going to do some more stuff. We're going to do another roof that's a little bit bigger. We have some more system families we have to do to get this thing ready. But we're pretty close. Save your work. The other thing that I did that I'm going to do on my next demo is I stole the door and window schedule from the Revit demo 11. We did all that work on that. There's a way to steal it, so you don't have to go back and like set up all those categories and rename them and all that stuff. It works really well, but I'll do that on the next demo. All right, but I'm not going to do that today. All right, so we are done.